Well, hello and welcome to Lorehammer. My name is Eric.
Hey, I'm Mark.
Thank you for having me on the show today, Mark.
Of course.
Always a pleasure.
First and last time for you.
That's not funny when you say it to me.
For the primary host of the show, we got Christian joining us.
Hello, welcome to my podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but I don't like it.
You're being removed.
Oh, God.
Replaced.
It was only a matter of time. Today is episode 82.
We also got Iain.
I know. He's here too. You know what?
Whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm leaving anyway.
Fuck it.
You're not in my field of view. I have my podcasting blinders on right now.
Okay.
I can't see anything. Joining us
hello.
is Iain.
Hi. It's been a little bit. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I just forgot how to introduce you, I think. How do you
Forgettable.
Very forgettable.
This is forgettable. Thanks for coming
Great.
on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And we also have Small Cat here.
Oh, can you hear
can
the
you
small
hear that?
cat?
Can
You probably can.
She's purring into the mic.
She's
for
really
the
loud.
listeners.
But
The whole
just
crew's here.
yeah, we got a lot of people. Before we actually get into our episode today about Eldar, Exiles, and Outcasts, I'm going to talk to you a little bit, some housekeeping stuff. First of all, if you're on Spotify, which you are because you're listening to this right now, you should make sure to follow our podcast so you can get automatic updates of when we release new episodes. Make sure you stay fresh on that content.
Oh, yes.
You know? Because
Yeah.
it's really important to stay up to date with our show.
Oh, yeah. If you're not up to date, you don't know
What are you
in the
doing
know.
with your time?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, we want the best for you guys. Not at all we want like a high subscriber count.
Right.
No, we want you guys
That's not
to
what
have-
this is about.
No, of course not.
It's never
No.
about the money.
No, of course not. It's about the people and giving them a show up to date. Perfect.
Well, I mean, if you're Canadian, you're going back into lockdown. There's nothing else to do anyway. So.
yeah, might as well binge listen to Lorehammer for the 5th time.
That's right. Is that what you do?
Start at episode 1.
No.
Go back into the house and just listen to this episode right afterwards.
In a dark room,
I
no
love
lights
it.
on.
And he just
I
cries softly.
love
I miss
it.
people.
Mark. He's just under the bed in the fetal position. But there's as well. We have Patreon. If you guys are interested in watching us in
Watching
video,
us pet a cat for the next hour and a half.
Pretty much.
yeah, there is a cat in the video, and honestly, it's definitely worth it.
It's definitely a small cat for
God.
sure.
It's really worth it. We should have a secondary cat cam.
Yeah, I've been talking about creating Catcast, my cat podcast.
And she just purrs.
She pretty much just purrs,
Into
yeah.
the
And
mic.
every now and again on the video feeds, I get mauled by Leo. So
yeah.
so
Oh,
it's-
And then you
Okay,
need like
yeah.
a little hospital trip.
yeah.
Right.
So if you want to watch that, check out our Patreon for $2 a month. You can watch our video content and just support the show. Even $1 a month helps us out a lot. So check that out. That'd be great.
Patreons get to select the name of the cat.
No, that's not true.
Catty McCatface.
We also got a Redbubble if you're interested in buying hoodies, t-shirts, dice bags, whatever you're into. We sell a bunch of different stuff, coffee mugs, whatever. Go
Yeah.
check out Redbubble.
And then lastly, but not least, there's a bunch of different ways on social media you can hang out with us or keep track of what's going on in the Lorehammer lives. And that's Facebook, Instagram. We have a Discord server that you can be a part of where we host regular community events and we host contests.
Oh, yeah.
Right now we're hosting a short story Sanguinala contest.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. We got our first submission in yesterday, which is when we opened the competition.
Oh, wow.
You know he had it already in the chamber.
Timely.
It wasn't, you know, it wasn't me. It was someone else. I don't participate, but I do read, and it's cool. I don't know. You don't hear a lot about like holidays in 40K,
Yeah.
so
Celebration. You know?
Yeah,
A lot
it
of
doesn't happen often.
celebratory-
Not a lot to celebrate.
I was trying to like
Much
write
to
out.
celebrate, really.
Yeah. Well, other than the fact of the divinity of humanity and the fact that they own the stars, that seems like a lot to celebrate.
That is a lot.
to me.
Celebrate it every day.
Yeah, I was trying to say, I wanted people to know, like, hey, you have to have Sanguinala in your story,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be a good story.
Sure.
You know, you can have a Sanguinala where everyone dies.
Oh yeah, my story is gonna be about some type of corn demon that wears a Christmas hat, visits a hive city, and brings the gift of blood. For Sanguina.
Right.
Yeah.
Sanguinalia.
Sanguinilia. So,
Wow.
yeah.
My story was going to be revolve around a guy lost in space celebrating his last Sanguinala because he was worried he was going to die.
Does he die?
You have to read the story to find out.
Is Sanguinella a made-up holiday or an actual thing in the...
In 40K?
Yeah.
It's real. It celebrates the sacrifice of Sanguinius and his death.
Oh,
Takes place, I think, at the end of the year.
a momentous day.
Yeah.
End of the Terran calendar year, which who knows where that is on anyone else's. But yeah, that and the Feast of the Emperor's Ascension are the two major Imperium holidays.
I see.
Oh my God, this cat.
She's really letting you know.
Well, all that being said, why don't we actually get into the episode itself?
Okay, sweet. What are Eldar exiles and outcasts?
I
Good
don't
question.
know. That's why I'm here.
I hear there's a horde of them kept in the North Pole as slaves by a tech priest.
Eldars and out.
Outcast Eldar. They build little toys for all the human children.
Hi. She likes the beard, hey?
Oh yeah, she loves to nuzzle facial hair.
That's why she doesn't like me, obviously.
So, Eldars and exiles and outcasts have no path to walk. Now, if you need more information about paths, we have an entire episode. I believe it's around the episode 70 mark.
Sure, something like that.
Where you can actually learn. Oh no, that's Path of the Dead. Jeez, the Path one was a long time ago.
Sure, but it's called Path of the Eldar. So if you want
You
to
should
learn more
find
about
it.
what a path is, then
Yeah.
go check out that one.
But what we're talking about today are the people that have no path to walk.
Yeah.
So some Eldar cannot function within the strict confines of the Craftworld paths and rebel against the system. They leave the safety of their home to explore the dark void of space. Others never experience the path at all, their ancestors having left the Eldari Crone worlds prior to the emergence of She Who Thirsts.
Sure. Yeah, like the path system is primarily a Craftworld Eldar kind of society function. What would you call that?
Culture.
Culture? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Lifestyle, maybe.
Lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. But yeah, not all Eldar follow the path. Like there are Drukhari who also don't follow a path, but we won't talk about them. But yeah, there's Exodites, there's Corsairs, and there's Rangers. All these ones kind of don't really follow a path, or they follow the path
In
of
their
the
own way,
outcast,
yeah.
which is their own path.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So, for whatever reason, these Eldar find fulfillment, security, adventure, and freedom outside the authority of the craft world. While they don't always see eye to eye, almost all Eldar still have a deep sense of... this cat on my screen. The Eldar all have a deep sense of loyalty to their race and will put aside petty grievances or perceived slights to ensure the continued survival of the Eldari. Whoa.
We're having difficulties here.
Did all our notes disappear?
No.
Oh, there we go. We're back.
The outcasts live a previous life, for without the protection and structure of the path, they're exposed to the many stimuli of the galaxy, emotional overload and overindulgence. So that's kind of what happens to Eldar. They just go crazy.
Yeah, there's just that risk that they, I don't know, get too invested in what they're doing and have no protection.
Sure. It's like that thing where it's like if you live forever, eventually you've done everything, so you have to just do crazier and crazier things just to feel alive, you know? Yeah, so that's kind of what happens to the Eldar.
So there is that danger of not being within the path system. Okay, let's now talk about the different kinds of Eldar who live outside the system. Christian, I hear, loves Exodites, so we're going to let him take the brunt of this Exodite section.
Yeah.
Who are the Exodites?
That's what we just asked
Yeah.
you, Christian.
I'm reading the notes. I can't go if I go off the path.
Our notes were asking you, who
Eric,
are the Exodites?
If I go off the path of the notes, then I could get lost and it's dangerous.
Perilous, even.
The Eldar race has become fractured over the millennia. One such split in the race are the Exodites. The Exodites were those wise enough to reject the slow degeneration of the race pre-fall of the Eldar. To escape the coming storm, the Exodites fled to distant and secret parts of the galaxy and settling on planets suitable for their new way of life.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, they didn't like what was happening, and they fled before even Slaanesh was born. So they fled around, like, I think
see.
M25 or something like that.
They're
We'll
like,
get-
shit's weird.
Shit's weird.
I'm piecing out.
Yeah.
They're like, I've seen enough butt stuff for today. Thank you very much. Yeah.
That ass needs a
This
4-generation rest. Yeah, it's weird. That's weird. So let's talk about the history and how it all kind of happened. So our story starts around M25. The Eldar are in the prime of their civilization. The galaxy was theirs, and life was easy. And as the saying goes, idle hands are the devil's playthings. And with the Eldar having every aspect of their life taken care of, eventually the race started to slip into more hedonistic experiences. They just kept going a little bit further, a little bit more, a little bit more.
bit crazier, a little bit more.
faster, a little bit harder.
Yeah. A little bit stronger drugs.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. While most Eldar were okay with the direction the race was going, there were those that were opposed to it. Some took to the streets to preach change and restraint, warning them against the hedonistic effects of the limitless pleasure cults. Those who cried for restraint were often seen as deluded Puritans at best, their calls for action mostly ignored.
Yeah, definitely were on the fringe of society and not accepted as like a normal, sane person even.
Like, like the street preacher in New York wearing the sign, ringing the bell.
Doom! And then it turns out Doom was actually there.
No!
It was
Was
there.
there the whole time.
The whole time. Some Eldar even predicted the coming of She Who Thirsts and the collapse of Eldari society into hedonistic excess, convinced even the most resolute of their species, that their species was racing towards inevitable disaster. Yeah, so like we always hear about like the birth pains of Slaanesh. So these people were like feeling that, kind of like feeling the growing, like feeling something condensing in the warp.
Yes.
Because they're all psychic. So
Yeah.
they can...
Feeling that hunger.
Yeah.
Feeling the storms that were being generated.
Yeah, because like the warp like created a bunch of like little warp storms all over the place pre Slaanesh's birth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, this race being like the most psychic race that we know of, I think at least, like they would feel it the most. But apparently, they're just so far in their crazy drug parties and too busy living,
just having a good
experiencing.
time.
I mean, I always use drugs, but
I
it
know.
doesn't even need to be drugs.
No,
it's just
it could be anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too busy.
World of
baking.
Warcraft.
Hey,
14 hours of World of Warcraft.
relax.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're too busy baking the most delicious cake in the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
To bother with the warp storm. So, fearing this inevitable disaster, some Eldari decided to abandon their homeworlds, hopping on spacecraft to colonize new planets, intentionally settling on planets that had no chaos corruption, mostly on the fringes of either society as they knew it or even of the galaxy itself.
The hidden places. They might be in
yes.
nebulas where it's tough to get to.
Absolutely.
They would definitely pick spots that are like secret, seclusive.
Yeah. So they can stay hidden away from all
Wild
the...
even.
Wild's a good word.
Dinosaur inhabited.
Maybe.
We can talk about this later because it's a pet peeve of mine.
It is at
Go on.
this point that the exiles became known as the Exodites.
Yeah.
So they exodused their way out of the culture, and they became the Exodites.
You can do that?
You can.
Can I do that?
You can just leave.
You can.
All right.
You
See you
can
guys.
just leave this
was
room.
fun.
I'm excited for you to wander in the wilderness for 40 years.
Now I need a
You're
new
gonna
main
eat those
host
words when I
with
come
me.
back riding a dinosaur.
With lasers
Where'd
on
you find
it.
that?
Oh, just outside.
Guys, I was just on an Exodus. What do you mean? Like,
They're everywhere.
it just happened.
It's for
It's
everyone
got a
who goes
look.
on an Exodus.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
One thing to note, though, that when the term Exodite was first used, it was an official organization, a group of people. It's not like everyone got together and was like, okay, we're exodusing. It's like this family might have seen it coming and they left. This one took his family and left, or maybe they took a whole city and left. But it wasn't an official like migration or official group of people. Or nothing.
It feels like you get like the front runners. They
Yeah.
saw it the most, and then they leave, and then someone else is like, "Well, why did they leave?" And you look into it, and then you realize, "Oh crap, we need to leave."
exactly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just
Until it becomes a movement.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. The idea of this movement was to get as far away from the birth of a new chaos god as possible, to basically go back to their old lifestyles before they started their pleasure cults. But over the course of time, they became more and more distinct part of the Eldar race. Like the Exodites now are fully like everyone knows what an Exodite is. all the Eldar and stuff.
If we were to say like population base, like what percent of the Eldar pre-fall would have left to become Exodites?
We definitely.
Is it
don't
like a
know.
really small amount?
It's a small amount. It does say that it's a small amount that flee.
Right. Okay.
Like there's probably more Craftworld Eldar than there are Exodite Eldars.
Well, yeah. Okay. I mean,
Do you have proof for that statement?
Yeah.
My
Page
brain.
72. Check it out.
Page 72 of the rulebook.
Read a book.
any book,
Fucking
actually.
Christian, like what the heck, man?
Just pick up any book. It says it right there.
Yeah.
To be fair, it does say the Eldar are a dying race, so you can presume that there's few enough Exodites too that they're not going to like recover.
Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Out of all the Eldar, the Exodites are actually doing the best.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they avoid the most
They
conflict.
avoid the most conflict. Yeah.
They avoid the most conflict. They live the best lives.
beautiful women.
Great dinosaurs.
But yeah, no, actually the Exodites are doing the best, because of their seclusive nature, they're hidden away, and they keep to themselves as well. So
In galaxies such as 40K, there's a lot to be said for actually being very hard to find and being able to live as you want to live.
The commissar said about you on the battle line, Eric. Where's
That
that
was hard
coward?
to find. Yeah, I was in that hole I dug. What's the problem? There was a Tyranid.
This is the life I want to live.
Yeah.
In this hole.
I love this hole. Where's my dinosaur? So when the birth of Slaanesh finally happened in M30, the Exodites were already set up and had established across the galaxy and were far enough away from the explosion that was the Eye of Terror, hence allowing their survival. So what was it, like light years worth of space was destroyed
the
by
whole
Slaanesh.
Eye of Terror, you can see it on a galactic map.
Yeah, that's just
crazy.
it's just a little birth. It was the birth of a god.
So
Where did the
very
placenta go?
They saved it to eat it later.
They're doing stem cell research.
the very first record that the Imperials have of contact with Exodites was like M25. So they've had like 5,000 years to kind of solidify themselves.
Some people saw the signs real early.
Yeah. So so that's kind of their history, they've seen the signs, they fled, they created their own life.
Space Amish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right up your alley, right, Christian? Right up your culture?
Like originally what?
Moving on.
I had nothing. The next section was about their culture, so I was like, Christian, fucking do it. Culture,
Okay,
right?
Christian, fucking do it.
Since the time in which they were first settled, the current Exodite homeworlds have not changed a great deal. These Eldar live a more primitive and austere life than that of the Azuriani of the Craftworlds, and even their surviving corrupted kin, the Drakari. So yeah, Space Amish. That's what I said.
Like when Exodites were originally created, they were supposed to represent like wood elves. So Space Amish,
Oh,
Space
really?
wood elves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they live like one with nature and stuff, and they try
Just
to
like the Amish.
they like building barns even.
Yeah. Space
Yeah,
barns.
you have a good
Space
old-fashioned
barns.
barn raising.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
seen the video of that?
A barn
crazy.
raising?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I need to build a barn in like
Ingenuity
14
of
hours.
man.
This
Yeah.
is crazy. Good job.
You
Well,
get
you know
yourself
what?
200 Amish people.
That's
you got
right.
yourself a barn at the end of the day.
When the whole community comes together,
What's
we
the,
all get stronger.
It's the Exodite equivalent of a barn raising.
I don't know if
T-Rex raising.
it takes a village
grow
to
one?
raise a T-Rex.
They have one of those like sponge T-Rex capsules. they throw it to the lake and they all just chant until it gets big enough.
It's a ride.
That's science.
Right. Yeah. And grow brain and all that stuff.
The
Like the
Exodites
orcs.
learned to once again cultivate crops and harvest other natural resources by hand, like their ancient ancestors. Their societies adapted to a more rigorous and physical culture compared to those of the Craftworlds. Because the Craftworlds, they have everything pretty much automated for them.
Yeah, they only do things that they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not much need unless it's, like specifically placed in front of them as like they've specifically removed things so that they have to do.
Exactly.
God,
I know what you're saying. I know
I
what
have
you're
the
saying.
brain
They don't
stroke
have to do
sometimes.
things for survival. They
Right.
do things for
Pleasure.
Well, let's not.
Let's not get carried away, because that's how we birth a god.
Yeah. Chill out.
yeah, they specifically make life harder for they intentionally, there we go, make life harder for themselves on the craft world because everything is so easy.
Yeah.
Whereas the Exodites, they just live a much
Harder life.
stricter lifestyle. Yeah.
They grow their own food. They have to survive.
Right.
If you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah. Exodites are a uniquely far-sighted and pragmatic group of the Eldar race. Exodites were genuine survivalists who firmly chose exile on low-technology, hardship-strewn wilderness worlds over degradation.
Sound it out, Mark.
But it's degradation and destruction. Like they definitely are planners. These people, they have some foresight.
Being an Exodite is harsh, and life was inescapably brutal for a people unused to all forms of extensive physical labor and self-denial. But this has made the Exodites strong and hardy. There's no weakness allowed amongst their kind.
I really like that thought. Like, if you think of an Eldar, they got like perfect bodies or whatever, but like they're still soft. Like they would have been so
supple.
Yeah, they would have been so soft pre-fall, like when
Tender.
they're just in all the pleasure cults and stuff. Yeah, so then to go like colonize this random planet and like have to go toil in the soil and like
They got manly hands with calluses.
oh yeah.
They have Eldari hands. What happens?
What happens if you're a weak Exodite? Do you get exiled from? Like, what happens if you?
I think you just
They throw
die.
you in the lake
Oh, they just
for
with
the
dinosaur.
for the dinosaur. Yeah.
Yeah, the Green Lake.
They got
I
Spartan
think
on
they
you.
find a place for everyone. That's what I would assume. That you find what your talents are, and you find a way to incorporate
Sure.
that into the Eldar
But
society.
Daddy, I'm an artist. Artists don't feed people.
No,
so-
they need artists. You still need artists. You still need artists in the society.
I wonder too if like Exodites are actually there's a physical difference now. Like now it's been like 15,000 years. I wonder if they're bigger and stronger.
They just procreate at a really slow rate.
Yeah.
I'm sure that just through training through the environment, they're slightly better. But
Yeah.
I bet that like physiologically,
They're very
No.
similar. Still,
yeah. I
sure.
mean, they've been around for millions of years. Like
Sure.
they've probably reached whatever their peak evolution.
Let's call it
is.
genetic stability. They
Yeah.
probably reached that at this point.
Exactly.
Evolutionary
There's
stability.
no need for
yeah.
them to mutate further.
Perfect.
But if you like compare to generic,
I am a
Exodite
geneticist.
An Eldar geneticist specifically.
and like a generic Craftworld Eldar,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Right?
the Exodite would be pretty built.
Yeah,
Right,
like
that has
I'd
nothing.
imagine-
That has everything to just do with their environment and the
Right,
fact that
like,
they have to work
I've
hard.
been
Nothing to do
trained
with their
for
But like
Hold
genetics.
on,
fit
Hold
people
on.
like birth more fit people, and those fit people birth more fit people.
Is that how it works?
This sound-
Maybe.
These babies just come out with six packs.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yours
I don't
didn't?
know.
None of ours
Is
did.
it
Yeah,
genes
sure.
a thing?
It is. But I think like
Why
if
do I
you
feel
take-
like I have to
if
fight
you
so
take
hard
the
for this?
average births and you're looking of like Exodites and you look at that versus Craftworlds, are those babies like on average actually stronger? They're Eldar already,
Yeah.
right? Like, is there a better life form to be
Yeah.
for them?
Yeah, it's not like the Craftworld Eldar are like fat and slovenly. They're still like.
Right, they're
And
still
especially-
extremely strong and graceful
Hold
in
on.
life.
Yeah, and they
just
live-
lack work habits.
Well, no, not even that though, because they live a
Just
very
lack of
disciplined
appetite.
Well,
lifestyle.
now
so
they
that's
do.
not fair.
Now
either.
they do.
Yeah. Are you comparing like Exodites to Craftworlders or the old Eldar?
Just to anything really.
Because-
anytime.
no, 'cause
even
hold on,
like
they-
Drukhari and stuff like.
Okay, Exodites live, or not Exodites, sorry, Craftworlders have a very disciplined lifestyle. Like, they're the guys that wake up every morning and go to the gym because they're warriors, and they're the perfection of a warrior. That means they're perfecting their body, they're perfecting like their cardio.
Or
they're
they wake up
perfecting-
every morning and apply another stroke of paint on
Sure.
their canvas.
Specifically, I'm talking about the warriors.
I
side,
know.
right? And there's a good chance that a lot of Eldar walk that path at some point.
The path of the warrior?
Yeah, some enough would have. There's got to be enough. My point is that their pursuit of perfection and their practices, or their disciplined lifestyle is like, yeah, they're the guy that wake up at 4 a.m, run like 10K, and then do like 100 sit-ups. Right? They're disciplined enough to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, to say that, like the Exodites are somehow superior in their physicality is
No one likes that idea.
necessarily
Hey?
true.
No one likes big buff.
I'm not
I
saying
like
they-
I like buff
think-
people as much as you do.
I think they would
I
be
love
big and
bodybuilders.
buff, but I think it's nothing to do with their genetics.
Sure,
and everything
sure,
to do with the
sure.
lifestyle they've chosen.
I thought we were talking about penis size. Did I misinterpret the whole this whole conversation?
All these push-ups I've been doing are for nothing.
Yeah, you see what you want to see, I guess.
Oh my goodness. Although not openly warlike, nope, that's too soon. Exodites believe in a return for the spiritual health brought on by pursuing the hard labor of survival for oneself. So that's kind of their purpose. It's like that's their thing. Like they purify their souls through physical labor.
And if you
And
had to
survival.
boil down what they were to a path, I think that would be a really great description of their path. It's that just desire of I'm going to survive by like the strength and toil of my own hands.
Yeah.
I can relate. I feel that.
Every day's a fucking toil for you. My God.
Getting out of bed.
Whether you're surviving, I don't know.
I don't know. But the toil
It is a toil.
Real.
How's your spiritual health?
Oh my.
Don't ask. If we have a don't ask, don't tell policy on his spiritual health, we can't handle it.
So, although not openly warlike, they are still more than capable of defending themselves from threats. The Exodites are robust, self-confident people and still possess the legendary pride, some would call it arrogance, of the Eldari race. But yeah, like these guys would prefer to hide or come back or flee, kind of, than openly go to war with people for no real reason or for
Conquest, resources.
Yeah, resources. Yeah, exactly.
So did they like also take Eldar tech with them and stuff
Yep.
too? Like they didn't forsake technology or
No, I got a whole section here about their technology and stuff.
teach me.
Pretty much it's one word. It says dinosaurs.
Foam dinosaurs.
I don't know why I perpetuate that because I hate it. But moving on.
So you can sum up a lot of their culture and their kind of how they view the world with Exodites also value coexisting with the land and elements instead of using the land for their own gain.
Yeah, exactly.
So they would rather build infrastructure that works with the land and is more natural in the landscape as opposed to bulldozing an entire continent and setting up some massive palace.
Or a parade. Just
Or
for a parade.
Not a fan of that. They don't like that. But yeah, that's kind of like how they kind of think. That's kind of their thought processes and stuff. That's what they value. They value the hard work. They value being independent.
Free.
Free. Wild.
Whether they're free or not.
Is entirely up to me.
That's right. And Mark, you've judged?
They are free.
Sons of bitches did it. They finally did it. They're free. Great. So let's dive into kind of what the society of the Exodites look like.
Yeah. While individual Exodite societies vary across worlds as well as between them, common to almost all of those known is a social structure based around small, independent tribal communities, each Eldar owing allegiance to a local ruling tribe, which in turn owes fealty to the planet's king or his royal tribe. Yeah. So it's very tribal for sure. Small groups of people. It's nice.
Working
Monarchists.
together.
Working together.
Yeah.
But they also have a monarchy, apparently.
Apparently, yeah, there are kings and stuff, leaders of the planet, ruling tribes.
I wonder if I could be leader of Earth.
No.
If you guys swear fealty to me, we'll start here and then we'll kind of expand.
Yeah, maybe
I'll swear fealty if you do, Eric.
I'll swear fealty
If Ian does it.
Not a chance.
If we get enough patrons, Eric will swear fealty to me.
If we get 20 million patrons, I will swear fealty to Christian.
Hit that Patreon button.
I'm going to stop advertising for Patreon now. I do not want to swear fealty to Christian.
So it's a commonly held belief amongst the scholars of the Imperium of Man that the fractious tribalism is the natural state of the Eldari. However, this social structure more than likely developed out of necessity, as a small scattered communities were the most efficient way to utilize the sparse natural resources of the newly settled maiden worlds.
Yeah, that kind of, like, I guess I can see why the humans would think that, But I don't think it makes much sense to
No,
actually think that.
I think it's just a funny joke that they tried to do. Like,
Yeah,
these
they're like,
backwards
we
fuck-
see them this way, so they must have evolved from this.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like they've been advanced for millions of years.
Yeah. That's the
you
Imperium,
know?
though. Like, they
Yeah,
don't fucking
they're
know
so
what
stupid.
anything.
The Imperium of Man, the perfect meme for them is that one guy who's like, is this a butterfly? That just represents everything the Imperium is. They see Tau? Is this a fish?
Yeah, they're just like so racist.
Yeah.
Stupid.
They see the Exodites? Is this a stupid Eldar?
The naturally occurring Eldar
Yeah.
state.
Anyways, I like that meme.
It's nice.
Ugh.
Due to the relatively few numbers of Exodites, there are few causes for territorial disputes between tribes. Open wars between tribes are rare, though skirmishes between young rival warriors are commonplace.
Gotta prove who you are and prove
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only way to do it is to beat your opponent into submission.
The good ways, the best ways.
yeah.
The old ways of the best.
You just gotta pin him down on the ground and you just gotta fucking kiss his neck.
Yeah. Just really assert your dom.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
you kiss another
I
man
could
on
have kissed
the
you
neck.
on the lips if I wanted to, but I did
Yeah.
it on your neck.
Yeah, no bloodshed, but that's how you've proven that you're better than your rival from your
Yeah,
neighbor tribe.
these wrestling, kissing skirmish. Oh, that's not. Okay, never mind, sorry. These skirmishes and occasional deaths do not embitter the tribes to one another, and regardless of how fought their battles might be, an Eldari would not despoil or steal the crops of a rival tribe, even as these lie unprotected for months at a time.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like, they all are still working together, and even though they might have the occasional dispute, like, most Eldar still value Eldar over everything else.
Yeah, as racist as the Eldars are, there's still a deep sense of loyalty to the race as a whole. Like
Yeah, I
their
think that's
own race.
the seeds of racism is when you think you're better than everyone else. Believe it or
Right,
not.
yeah. It's so much so that you're willing to despoil everyone else.
Yeah.
For your own
But
benefit.
protect your own self. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's like it only has helped that attitude, the Exodites, because I think also they realize that the less needless confrontation that they have, the better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Exodites live a lifestyle that is startlingly pre-industrial and primitive lives compared to the other Eldari factions, like the Assyriani and Drakari, having chosen to abandon the automation, labor-saving technologies that long defined the Eldar life.
yeah, it's a very different lifestyle for sure.
Like they're out living in huts and stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about technology next, but like they're out living in huts, but they have full-on fucking laser cannons.
Yeah.
Like,
Why can't you have both?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why would you want a hut? Why wouldn't you just
Well, it
want
depends where
a
you live.
house?
I want a laser cannon. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I want a fucking laser
Give me a
cannon.
goddamn hole on a field with a commissar breathing down my back for as long as I got a laser cannon. There's a book. I can't remember the title of it, but in the book, it's about this society that a group of adults like shut themselves off. They put themselves in like an exhibit, and they live in like this old pioneer town.
Oh.
And then they're having children, and the children have no idea that they live in this
What?
like this place, but the adults all know. And it's crazy because the doctor, they had pills and they had medicine, but at some point he just stops giving it out because that's too advanced technology for what they want to use. And it's this entire story of how they're actually like being viewed on like cameras, and it's this one person's journey to
crazy.
like throw off like the veil and like learn what they are. But that's kind of how I view Exodites. It's just like, are there Exodites that
Don't
they
even know.
learn? Yeah, exactly. They learn at some point, like, wait a second, my race sails the stars on these massive craft world ships.
Like a Harlequin comes down to the planet
and
then
exactly tells them the story of their race, and
Yeah.
they're like, what? the
What am I doing in a hut?
with a goddamn dinosaur?
You mean I could be having sex parties? Fuck my hut.
my hut.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going with you.
I definitely wonder that. Like, what is I mean, obviously there are, but you know, what is it like to be an Eldar that is an Exodite? You know, like,
Yeah.
do you instantly accept the life you're given? Do you have to struggle, or do you want to rebel even against what someone else has chosen for you? So,
I guess, like, how often are they procreating as well? Like you mentioned before, like, they're probably not bringing a lot of new blood around.
yeah, that's definitely true. There's not as many of the Eldar babies as there would be, say, human babies.
Sure, and so, like, you know, they can brainwash or
Brainwash a
indoctrinate.
kid pretty easily to think they're having a good time in a
I
hut.
mean, it happens
Yeah.
all the time.
all the
so.
time. You ever heard of Africa?
What? Please expand, Mark.
I have, but I would actually rather not expand on that. Because I don't know what
I don't know what you're talking about.
Huts, man. You ever heard of Huts, Africa?
Huts. Right.
And then they hear about Canada and they're like, what are they doing? They're talking into microphones?
And then there's
Yeah.
the Coke bottle.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a good life. So let's go into their technology.
Ian's favorite.
Although their lifestyle is in many respects primitive and pre-industrial one, the Exodites still possessed many advanced technologies and remained familiar with the sophisticated materials used on Craftworlds. So they're definitely aware. They're not
Yes.
dumb. They're not idiots.
No. Not, but like they're definitely not Hicks.
Yeah.
But it's the attitude is very different.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like the
attitude is
lifestyle.
hick, but the brain is not.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nor is their technology.
Yeah.
Hick.
However, the psychoplastics like Wraithbone that are used, or the cornerstone of Craftworld Eldar technology, are rare and precious on these remote planets. So the Exodites utilize other substances and rely on simpler methods for certain tasks.
The Wraithbone's not very environmentally friendly, so they try to reduce how much Wraithbone they introduce into the environment.
I assume. I mean, he's joking.
Does it give off pollution?
He's joking.
I was kidding.
It's literally probably the most environmentally friendly. You create it from nothing, so you don't have to do any kind of resource extraction.
Yeah.
And you could probably destroy it like with a single thought because
Yeah.
it's just
And-
psychoactive. So
And you can
Leave no
recycle
residue.
it.
yeah, exactly. You can just reform it into
Yeah.
whatever you want. So
It's very green technology.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
No, you guys just work for big Wraithbone.
big rate.
shills.
You caught me.
Rips off his mask. He's an Eldar.
the whole time.
So in war, the Exodites make use of weapons and technologies very similar to the Craftworlds. The big difference between the two is that the Exodites prefer not to use vehicles, instead replacing them with well-trained and armored wildlife that is native to their planet.
Yeah. But yeah,
Maybe.
like Eldar or the Exodites, they use like shuriken weaponry and stuff.
Monomolecular.
Lance weapons. Lots of similar crossovers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, they would be riding horses into battle, but then carrying a shuriken cannon.
Yeah.
That's their technology.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, I love it. Seems like they'd be at a disadvantage, perhaps.
Perhaps.
But, you know.
It's 40K, so everyone's always at a disadvantage.
Yes. There's no such thing as an even fight in 40K.
Uh,
Unless
yeah.
you're Abaddon versus Calgar.
Then it's an even fight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Because no one will ever die.
They're just locked in perpetual combat.
That's right. Yeah. So let's talk about the afterlife. Christian, you want to head us out?
Because I'm spiritually pure.
That's right.
Every Exodite homeworld has its own equivalent to the Craftworld's infinity circuit, which they refer to as the world spirit. This immense store of psychic energy is where the minds of the dead Exodites are preserved forever after their passing from the physical world.
Yeah, very cool. They have their own.
Infinity circuit.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
they call it like the world circuit. Like you become one with the
world.
planet.
Yeah, and as we get into it, it's pretty cool how this all works and how it all connects together. So, like their Craftworld kin, the Exodites also wear spirit stones. That way they can put into the infinity circuit or the world spirit. And when they die, they're taken beneath the earth into one of their great tribal burrows. There, they are laid to rest, their spirit stone broken upon the altars of the world spirit's crystalline world shrines. Wow. So their souls may become part of the potential psychic collective.
Potent.
So
potent.
The obviously big difference between this and Craftworld Infinity Circuits is the breaking of the Spirit Stone.
Yeah.
In Craftworlds, they put the Spirit Stone in like a garden, which then connects to the circuit and grows as a gem, which can be plucked and reused by that spirit or whatever. But in this one, they offer you no way to exit the World Shrine.
Yeah, like where Craftworlds, they make use of like Wraith technology, Exodites do not. So there's no need to really draw them out to actually take their soul from the world spirit. You can still commune with them just fine. When
Of course, yeah. You just go to the World Shrine itself, you form some prayers or whatever with your psychic.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, in this section, does it talk about the reason of why they don't use Wraith?
I think it's just
rare.
not like natural.
It is.
I think that
there
would
are
be...
many people on the craft worlds who view that as a form of necromancy, and it's very frowned upon actually in a lot of craft worlds.
So if you're like very conservative Exodite, you're like
absolutely,
No.
yeah. I was wondering
should be
if they had put a reason.
I don't think they ever
I
do.
would think
but
that would be
that'd be my guess. Because like it's fucking necromancy.
Yeah, you're
stop bringing back the dead.
You're commanding the souls of the dead. Like, what
Yeah.
kind of horrific things are you doing to this soul, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they have the right to be free and rest.
yeah.
You're pulling them screaming from the afterlife,
It's,
shoving them in a constrained
And then
body.
pushing them towards orcs.
That's not good. No one likes that. I have a quick question too. It's interesting that you're kind of locked on that world if you're dead. So if anything happens to that planet, Tyranid invasion, Exterminatus, whatever, like you're not going anywhere. That you're there forever.
Yeah, like even a craft world, if it got invaded and like overrun, they could still potentially
Extract you, yeah.
Yeah. If they had enough rate, or I guess some would get extracted. But
Yeah, you couldn't extract.
I
the
doubt
whole-
you'd.
but you could
extract
save somebody,
everyone.
but like you're trapped. That world, your fate is entwined with that world. no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah, I mean,
which just furthers deepens their connection to it and like that
Yeah.
whole like wood elfy type vibe.
it also it makes their need to hide and be in these really hard to reach areas all the more vital because now they're like we're desperate to make sure people
Our planet doesn't
can't
get invaded.
Yeah, exactly.
And even settled because then like think how the Imperium settles worlds. It's not. Pretty.
Yeah, it's not a settling.
It's not
in terms
gentle.
of Exodite. It's a settling of, we don't like this planet. Let's remake it.
Yeah. So
We have the technology. Go ahead, Christian.
this complex psychic energy grid extends over the entire planet, stretching between the tribal barrows, stone circles, and standing stones that serve as the physical world shrines. The spirit world, the immaterium, and the material world, real space, can be interact at these special places. The spirits of the dead flowing together as one network of pure psychic energy, a vortex of power where the living can talk to the dead if they possess the psychic ability to interact with the world spirit. Yeah, they're going like full wood elf here. Well,
Communing.
I mean, it's
like
that,
Celtic, like
Yeah.
spirit stones, and you go to them and you can like commune with.
Look at the cat's feet up there.
I know.
the
Are you
action,
communion with the cat spirit?
the action of the communication is the exact same
Sure.
as
yeah.
the craft world, but I think the way they view it is very different. That I think the Exodites just seem to have a much more natural connection to it, whereas the craft worlds, I don't know, it just seems like I don't know what I'm trying to say necessarily, because it's not like they aren't respectful and they still don't feel that sense of like wonder. I don't know, but it definitely feels like the Exodites have a more natural connection to their world shrine.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot more shamanistic and
Yeah, I wish they
like
got more
mystical views around it than a craft world would have.
Yeah, I wish they got more into that kind of aspect of it, but
Mm-hmm.
the whole like the idea of a Exodite shaman who like leads the people in their spiritual health and stuff. Like it's a cool thought, but there's just
Absolutely,
no real information.
So you can pretend.
I do. I like to play pretend for sure.
It's the king's like children. They're like the shamans. They travel from place to place. Anyways, my brain.
To abandon a settled world is akin to abandoning the souls of their ancestors to the warp and she who thirsts. For without constant replenishment, world spirits diminish slowly and are rendered vulnerable.
Very cool.
So
That is good to know, that you have to be in constant protection and vigilance over these world spirits, or else Slanesh will come.
and that makes sense, right? They have that again, wood elf vibes of like people enter the wood elf forest and they kick people out. They don't want people in their forest. They
Yeah.
don't want people on their planet because they're going to corrupt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that was another big thing. When they chose their planets, they specifically chose planets that were chaos-free.
Yeah, so they don't want you bringing your nasty chaos.
Well, who would
boots
really
all over
choose
the
a
carpet.
chaos-populated planet if they had?
Maybe just a little bit of chaos.
You need a little touch of
I just need
excitement.
a little
Yeah.
bit of chaos.
Okay.
We're seducing you. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's very cool the way this works. Like all the burrows are like connected to each other through these like psychic
They look like
Paths.
veins
Yeah,
running through a
exactly.
planet.
I
like
get
way lines
Skyrim
everywhere.
vibes. Like, you know,
With the
stones.
barrows?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like stones and cairns and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
but also Celts and also a little bit of
Fuck.
a little bit of picks in there.
Yeah, it's very cool. I wish we had a little bit more information on all this on their afterlife, because even all this stuff that we've read off, I got off of Wikia.
Yeah, so it's a little harder to source, and
Yeah, and I tried
real.
hunting down more, but who knows if even any of this is true.
it's not.
It sounds
Eric was editing the day before for you to read the day after.
the Wikia.
Updated yesterday. I wonder who did that.
Yeah. So let's talk about Exodite worlds. There's really not much on them. The worlds of the Exodites are savaged, untamed. They're meager settlements coexisting with wild beasts of all kind. These settlements are too few and far enough between, scattered and disruptive to the delicate balance of nature. Yeah. So like they don't really populate the planet. They don't have huge cities. They're not doing a whole lot of
Landscaping.
landscaping. Well, maybe they
Terraforming.
like doing landscaping.
Sure, but they want it to look natural.
Yeah.
No fake turfs on their lawns.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they? Sorry, quick aside.
Yeah.
Maiden worlds.
Yeah.
Is that an Exodite thing or is that an all?
So,
Eldar
a
thing?
maiden world is a world that the Eldar race terraformed.
Okay, so are these not
With-
necessarily maiden worlds?
With intention to populate at a later time.
Yeah. So lots of
Yeah.
Exodites went to maiden worlds
Because they were
they were
nice.
perfect spots.
They were great
Right.
for Eldar, yeah, but they still specifically would have chosen ones that were hard
Yeah.
to access.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
So
and
it's like
yeah.
if you hit all the marks and you're a maiden world, wow, that
Perfect.
sounds perfect.
Right. But you will settle for like just a wild planet that's off in the distance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also think it's cool area to explore is they don't necessarily have to be like what else? Like imagine settling an ocean world.
Sure.
Like ocean Exodites.
Ocean
right?
elves.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
Sea
it's
elves.
the
Gray
mindset
elves.
of wood elves.
Right, yes. But
yeah,
you
like,
can
it'd
transpose
be-
that on like
It's the desire
Yeah.
to be connected to nature.
Yeah. Like I want to do an Exodite army for like my Eldar or whatever, and I want to do like an Arctic themed one.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
know those mammoths from?
yes, the ogres.
Yeah. I
Yes.
would love to have them with Eldar on top of them.
I'm
and,
in it.
Yeah.
Mornfang from
Yeah.
Yeah.
Age of Sigmar.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, like they could really be anything. They're not wood elves. They're
Oh,
like-
you
Yeah.
could take the sea elves from
Yeah, you could do Idna
from
Deepkin.
Oh yeah.
yeah, the Deepkin
Yeah.
and make
Yeah.
a
That
oh
would
man,
be,
there's so much potential
quite
here.
easy to
I wanna
do
see a
well.
That would be
lava.
incredibly easy. You
A
just
lava
slap
world.
guns on, and
They're
you'd be good.
literally riding like cavalry,
Animals,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
there's eels and sharks and giant turtles. Like, yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I really think you could do some truly wild things with Exodites, conversion wise. But yeah, Exodite worlds,
I'm just imagining horse-drawn carriage. Eldar.
classy.
Vampire counts, carriage, Eldar.
No, like full-blown Amish.
So let's talk about now how Exodites, kind of interact and see other Eldars within the race, but also just xenomorphs outside.
Yeah.
So the Craftworld Eldari regard the Exodites as rustic and simple folk, vigorous and wild compared to their own introverted and often hermetically sealed societies. The system known as the Asuriani Path does not determine the way of life for an Exodite Eldari, unlike those of the Craftworlds. So they definitely see a separation between themselves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and like they've even gone to war with Craftworlds before. It's very rare, but it does happen. Yeah.
But regardless of their differences, Craftworlders will come to the aid of Exodites and vice versa in times of dire need. Even Eldar Corsairs have been known to come to the defense of an Exodite world.
Yeah.
I think that just goes right back to the fact that, even though you might have problems with one, you still put the survival of
your
the Eldar
species.
race, yes, above anything else in the galaxy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how are the Eldar looked at now by like the Craftworld races? They're not. They're like, yeah, maybe it was a good idea that you guys left when you did. Like,
They're probably
Well,
entrenched in
the-
their own view because we're like, our disciplined path is the way.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're like, you do your thing, but our way is the way.
It's like mutual respect for each other's other thing, but like,
Well, like the reason for both of these existing stem from the same thing. They both were trying to flee the birth of Slaanesh. They just went about it different ways. Some went on Craftworlds, others went to Maiden Worlds.
Yeah, and whether or not it's like the right or the wrong thing,
Yeah.
it's really hard to say. I
Yeah.
mean,
The truth is that they're all wrong, and the Drakari got it right. Embrace.
Praise. Yeah.
Harlequins are the most welcome amongst the Exodites and are given free roaming of their worlds.
Yeah.
Which definitely makes sense. Harlequins are welcome in almost any Eldar society. Yeah.
Are they even? They're welcome in Cormorant, right?
Anyone's welcome
yeah.
in Gamora.
I guess that's true. I guess. But
But
like
yes, I
the
even
Dark
think
Eldar
they-
value them, right?
I even think they perform, yes,
Yeah.
and share the story.
And
of
they
the
would
fall.
love that, too. It's like, oh, cool.
It'd be blood. They'd probably add a lot more blood in the show for that. And then Exodites despise the Dark Eldar, and they hold them responsible for the fall of the Eldar in the first place. Hostilities remain high between the two factions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sad.
Sad. And then the final thing about Eldar relations is just how they relate with everyone else, every other race. Like, they don't like them.
No.
Get off my lawn type
Yeah.
situation. That's how they feel about every race, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if I was worried about the spiritual purity of my world shrine and the contamination of, let's say, the taint of chaos, or even just other people's like psychic energies, I would be pretty protective of those borders as
Yeah.
well.
Just imagine how shitty it would be if, like, an orc invaded their planet, spores now that's an orc planet, essentially. And, like, your world spirit's, like, got fungus on it now. It's like,
yeah, you'd be annoyed.
You could get a cream for that, though.
Apply 5 times.
To the entire planet.
Yeah, that would effectively like force you to move and abandon your world spirit, which is devastating.
Yeah,
You could
Or
have to
like,
abandon it.
if
Just
you're-
lock in perpetual combat. Just
Or
like,
that,
we will
yeah.
fight them. I don't care for 1,000.
Or just imagine the situation where, like, the leader of the tribe's like, the only way to get rid of the orcs in that forest is we got to burn down the whole fucking forest. Exactly.
No.
Oh, no.
So sad.
Mark, why'd you take it to a dark place?
Mark, this is 40K. It's not grimdark.
Oh.
So where I go to escape my problems.
So that's a fun thought. Them having to burn down their own.
Yeah,
Their own
I mean, and
forest.
sacrifices have to be made, right?
Yep.
So, and they're not scared to make big decisions. Obviously, they abandoned all of Eldar society
Yeah.
for what they thought was right. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Exodites. They're cool. I really enjoy them. I wish we had models. Maybe.
I wish GW would make them a faction because to make everything else a faction, even created a totally fake new faction for Eldar and didn't freaking consider Exodites.
I don't think Games Workshop views a lot of money in Exodites as
Yeah.
well as longevity in the race. I think that
Games Workshop is wrong.
oh,
They are
Well,
very
they don't
wrong.
really, Eldar as a whole hasn't really gotten a lot of favors in the last.
No.
Stop complaining. You got
What?
a double box set recently.
didn't they just
Last
get a
year.
new
Eldar?
aspect warrior update?
Yeah, it's like the only thing in the last like
Decade.
10
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah, I think Exodites are cool, but they definitely aren't on the forefront of what Eldar fans are buying.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
people are way more interested in Craftworld, Dark Eldar, and Ianari.
Yeah.
So
Yunari's just the two put together and pretending it's a new faction.
Ianari is all of them. Ianari
They
is supposed
got
to be the
2
blending of
unique
everything.
Models. 3, I mean. That's a fact.
That's not a faction.
It's an ideal, Christian. But there's a couple more things we're going to share about Exodites. Or
Couple
just
additional thoughts. Couple
Yeah.
talking points. The very first
Exactly.
one is Eldar Psychers.
Exodite Psychers.
Exodite Psychers. Yeah, they don't really talk about them. They don't really talk if they have to try to temper them or how they.
Control them.
how do you shield them
Yeah.
from the warp? And
Yeah, because like Craftworld, they go on that path and like it's a whole big thing.
yeah. It's very like strict, and it's the most dangerous path. It's described as it takes absolute years and focus to master. But then you get to the Exodites, who don't even have the protection of the path, and they don't even mention it.
Yeah.
I have 2 theories.
Okay.
One, their world protects them because over time you get enough people in the world spirit, and it kind of like you live on the planet. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything outside of that. And 2, they walk a path of their own that's still disciplined and like more physical.
Sure.
You still have to farm, you still have to eat, you still have to do all those things. So you don't have a lot of time to like you said, like what is it? Idle
Hands of the
hands
devil
of the devil's
blazings.
right, exactly. So you're not like busy playing with your psychic powers because you freaking have to eat today. So you're gonna go, seed the fields. And,
Sure.
So okay, your first point, Exodite worlds are definitely described as very low population. There's no way there's more Exodites on a Exodite world than there are Craftworlders on a Craftworld. And so there's more spirits in an infinity circuit than there are in a world shrine, 100%. So that protection would also then be offered to the Craftworlds, but you never hear about how the infinity circuit is the one protecting you. It's always the path.
Sure.
The second point,
the Wraithbone has some kind of
Protective
warding.
qualities.
Yeah, but
the second one, psychic things, emergencies can just happen.
Sure, but that's true for everyone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So maybe a lot of Exodites are protected just by the fact that they're not exploring their psychic powers, but there are going to be those Exodites who just explode with psychic potential and energy. So how do you think they view that then? Someone who, they've stepped into this world and they have no idea how to control it, and psychic things are just happening around them.
That could be a cool story, man.
Well, how do you think they deal with it?
I
That's what I'm
really
trying
like
to
the
say.
idea of like shamanism and stuff.
Yeah.
I do too.
There's
I
a
love the
tribal-
tribal aspect.
Yeah,
of
there's a
that.
tribal shaman. He's keeping his eye out for new people who are kind of getting crazy with
He's
psychic powers.
sussing it out
Yeah.
and trying to like read the psychic waves of what's happening,
Yeah.
and I really like that too. And then he finds someone and pulls an apprentice, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Now you can go be a shaman to this village."
And then one goes rogue and kills a village chieftain's son, and it sets off a whole like 3-part series, right?
Yes.
Yes,
it does.
I definitely like the shaman look. I
Yeah.
wish that Games Workshop had would confirm that for us,
Sure.
because I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, like even if you look at like Exodite artwork, they look so like feral, like they're covered in like bone teeth and like feathers and stuff. Like a shaman would just fit right in there.
Yeah.
Can think of some models you could convert already.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those Raven models for Warcry.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah.
a couple new Warcry factions and stuff
They
that
could do some nice,
would look.
really cool for
Yeah.
like shamans. Eric's googling right now.
I'm just curious.
Never even heard of Warcry before.
Really?
It's,
No.
it's like it's kind of like Necromunda to AOS,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what we're talking about.
except for
then.
like the rules
Yeah.
are probably nothing like that. But like it's like a small scale.
Yeah. You're playing as some type of cult or something.
You
Yeah,
buy
like
like
sub-faction
you
of
buy
games.
like a $70 box with like 10 guys in it, and I think that's like.
But then that's all you need forever, though.
I think so. That's
Right,
your like
exactly.
warband or something.
Yeah, so that's a difference in buying Infinite Warhammer.
Right.
Wait, you can do things other than just buy Warhammer?
You guys
You
are
can build
building?
and paint them.
What? Guys, don't be crazy. They're just supposed to sit in their shrink wrap plastic on your shelf.
They're collector's items.
That's right.
Yeah,
I got
mean,
most of
mine
my
are like that.
paychecks directly going
Deposited to GW.
Yeah, direct deposits to
They're just converted into gift cards to the Games Workshop website.
You just get loot boxes every month.
Yeah, it's nice.
You're like, wow, this month, for the 10th month in a row, I got paintbrushes.
And a Primaris Lieutenant.
A new Primaris Lieutenant.
What a world! What a life we live.
Have any of you guys been to GW for your free model?
What free? What?
They give you a free model every month now, apparently, if you just go and ask for one. It was on
That's
the,
how drug dealers
What?
do their thing.
legitimately, it was on the community.
How have I not
page.
known about this?
It
You've been in lockdown.
It started last month, I guess.
Oh my god, I'm gonna make a
I
trip.
mean, I haven't either.
You can't because
God.
everything's closed.
Damn it, that's how they get you. Come on down if you dare. But beware.
The cops will grab ya.
$1,000 fine for breaking quarantine. Worth
Any
that one miniature.
other ideas about psychers or things we want to chat about there?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm good. I think obviously they exist.
Yeah.
I don't think that Eldar Exodites would like shun a
No.
psyker, but I do think there is probably a very specific role
Yeah.
and place, especially for those who it just happens to, as opposed to seeking it out.
Yeah.
So.
The path of the shaman.
Yeah, and just like what you were saying earlier, I do think that as much as people that exist outside this system, as much as they deny that they're on a path, I think all of them take a lot of the very similar themes of path life and just adapt it to their own desires.
Yeah.
So maybe they aren't doing pleasure cults, but they're still like having strict schedules
Yeah.
and making sure that they're
the
doing
path
routine.
of the farmer.
Yeah.
The farm.
I honestly think that like that is the way that Eldar society. That's just how they
that's their
naturally
natural
want to go.
state. Yeah, as
Primitive.
primitive
primitive
backwards
farmers.
aliens. Yeah, that is their natural state.
Is this an Eldar ancestor? Okay, there's one more thing about Exodites, and it's
Do it.
dinosaurs.
Fucking dinosaurs,
Mark,
man.
Mark read an interesting piece of information that's going to kick it all off.
Refresh my memory. I read a lot of stuff. We'll go with that.
When we were doing the notes,
It doesn't all stick.
well, it's
Mark
in
read
the,
this thing, and what was that again, Aaron? I don't remember.
I wrote it in the parentheses. It's right there.
Dinosaurs.
So the Exodites, I'll just say it, I guess.
Please. Please do.
The Exodites brought the dinosaurs with them.
Yeah.
That's the piece of
That's
information that
why
Mark
there's
read.
dinosaurs everywhere.
Yeah.
Apparently
Yes.
that's why.
Regardless,
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think the idea of all Exodites across the galaxy on all the planets all use T-Rexes.
Yeah, and like they have like there's a lot of information about Exodites that I didn't include because it specifically pertained to like their I think they call it the dragon cult. But it's basically people who ride the dinosaurs. But that wouldn't be the same on every. That would be one planet in my mind.
Be very niche, or a group of
Exactly.
planets, depending on how far the influence has spread.
Exactly.
Well, okay, it depends. If you like this idea that dinosaurs were brought with them, then maybe there literally are on
Yeah.
every single planet. And
Yeah.
the dragon cult is on every planet.
Yeah.
I think that's a really stupid thing.
Yeah.
Like, these planets are described as wild, savage, and untamed. Like,
Why would you start importing? Have they
Right.
not learned from
Dangerous
Australia?
fucking predators.
a lot of their, like, ideal...
Man, you like T-Rexes?
A lot of their ideal goes with living with nature.
Yeah.
Why would they try to impose these massive
Hello, we're here to live
carnivores?
with nature, and we brought invasive species
Exactly.
with
That
us.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly.
Like, it would make more sense that they would find animals or creatures on that planet that exist there to live in harmony with them
Exactly.
and help them. So
Exactly.
I don't like the idea of dinosaurs. Unfortunately, Games Workshop does say they brought them with them.
Giant spiders.
But when have we
Wait,
ever
that's-
really listened
that's
to
a
what GW
corroborated-
says?
Not
by
a
GW
single
thing?
time.
I was gonna say, Primaris Marines. Case in point. Would it be stupid to have a? I'm not. We're not. We're
Primaris
not.
dinosaur?
We're not. Oh no! What have you done?
Only if it's Primaris Dinosaur Prime.
But yeah, like I definitely like the idea more that whatever planet they go to, they just make use
Adopt
of
a
that
local.
wildlife and stuff.
I'm just like picturing like all these cool big beasts from
Right?
AOS.
No,
Freaking
I like
giant
the
falcons,
dinosaurs.
Oh,
giant spiders.
But do you like the idea of every planet having these dinosaurs?
Sure. I mean, they could have just brought like a stem cell from a T-Rex with
It just
them.
doesn't make sense
Grow
with
it
their
in a
whole
tube.
culture to me.
yeah.
Yeah, it probably doesn't, but
But
it'd
that's the
look cool.
facts.
That,
That's the facts.
Them's the breaks.
Them's how it is. But yeah, there's some like insanely cool like lizard men
Oh,
models
yeah.
or something.
oh yeah, like yeah, the dinosaurs are sweet for
Right.
sure.
Like instead
We
of
just
a
don't
Wraith
all
Knight, you
only
have
want dinosaurs.
Yeah.
the massive $400
Carnivore.
like I don't remember what it's called. Big dinosaur.
the big dick dinosaur. Yeah.
The big boy.
Well, I think that's about it for our Exodites.
Yeah.
Well, this was a great episode, guys. Thanks for having me.
No, that's only half the episode.
Oh.
Strap yourself
no.
in for Corsairs.
Corsairs. Ian, do you want to lead the charge on Corsairs and take us
Sure.
through it?
Some Eldar choose to abandon the life of the Craftworld and become Enrathe.
Yes.
They cannot live in the rules of the craft world, and so they leave. Others have been banished, forced out of their homes because of particularly heinous crime that they have committed. And this is like the path of the outcast, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the title of what you're reading.
Is this an actual path that they are like deemed
Yeah.
from other people, obviously?
Yes, I don't know if they view it as the path of the outcast, but definitely the Craftworld society very strictly calls this the path of the outcast.
Cool.
Some Eldar find themselves without a home, join roving bands of other outcasts in a truly piratical. That's a word?
Piratical?
Piratical?
Sounds made up.
Piratical lifestyle.
All words are made up.
Preying upon many other starfaring intelligent races of the galaxy. Their favorite prey, however, is the Imperial shipping voidcraft and merchants.
Oh, yeah. You love looting, for sure.
As much as the Eldar have like some really old enemies like the Necron or the Orcs, for some reason they really
Like to pick on
really
humans.
hate humans. I mean,
Mokai.
humans are like the worst.
They're just
But,
horrible, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty easy target.
yeah. It didn't take long for humans to top that list of most hated. They've been fighting Necron for 60 million years, and it took humans like 5,000 to immediately.
I know we just met, but like,
I literally hate you.
I'm gonna raid your craft.
You
I don't even want your
really
stuff.
suck.
I'm just raiding your craft.
I'm just gonna kill it. Oh man.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what does an Eldar want on an Imperial ship? Money?
Yeah. Who
Imperial
knows?
tech?
Yeah, it's so great.
Right?
It's so advanced.
So organization for them. Corsairs gather together into fleets, though it is more likely to see small bands together at a single time. While these bands do identify with larger fleets as a whole, they operate on this smaller scale, often terrorizing an entire sector with fast guerrilla attacks.
Nice.
Guerrilla attacks.
Yeah, they launch
Guerrilla.
gorillas out of their guns.
They're
on-
just like the Exodites.
Exodites, yeah. They brought gorillas with them everywhere. Space gorillas. A Corsair fleet is ruled by one individual, either a Corsair prince or princess. This pirate often comes from ancient Eldar nobility, though even if they aren't of noble blood, they are still recognized as masterful tacticians, natural leaders, and effective warriors.
I like that Eldar society always goes back. Even the Craftworlds have princes, right? Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
still
Prince
maintain
Uriel.
like their
Yeah.
monarchical families and houses and bloodlines.
It's also interesting to note that they still have actual power too.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
that's what I'm
just-
saying. They're not just a figurehead. Like
Yeah,
they're-
exactly.
Like Exodites do it. These
Yeah,
guys-
I did wonder if those Exodite kings actually do come from old ancestral Eldar nobility.
Yeah.
But my first guess would be yes.
Yes.
Probably.
Because they
yeah.
do. I think they really do care about that like bloodline and their history.
And being
so.
better than everyone else.
Exactly.
They're a democratic social commune.
Oh.
They have no leaders.
Yes. So surrounding this prince or princess is a coterie of Corsair barons, and these are advisors, captains, boarding crew chiefs, or crew commanders that have the ear of their fickle prince.
These barons are often in command of their own spaceships, and even have their own small fleets sometimes, and even will run their own raids sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on how big your fleet is,
Yep.
but like your baron could be the master of a fleet that another prince is, right? So
Sure, exactly. It could be.
there's definitely
10
some big sizing differences
Yeah.
here. Ian?
These fleets and smaller bands are highly autonomous, with many pursuing their own goals or targets. Because of the fleet-based nature of the Corsairs and the predisposition of the Eldar race to quick, focused, and targeted attacks, as opposed to the Imperium's method of a big hammer, they are not equipped for long, drawn-out confrontations or siege warfare.
They specifically don't, right? Like keep that kind of hardware around.
Yeah, it's just hit and run.
Exactly. Yeah. They have no desire to be drawn into any kind of long conflict.
Yeah.
There aren't many, if any, bastions of Eldar pirates. While we, as in humans, like us reading this, we could assume that they spend the majority of their time out in the void of space, raiding Imperial shipping lines. There was a pirate haven once mentioned in the 12th Black Crusade, which we talked about in that episode, where a group of piratical humans and Eldar were said to operate from. But even though these bases may not be mentioned, we believe that many pirates that covet treasure or hoard wealth must have some protected place for it.
Yeah, exactly. They all got their own treasure island somewhere for them.
Treasure planet.
Treasure planet.
Tortuga.
Okay, I just want to say, as an aside, Treasure
Planet
Planet
is a great
is
movie.
one of the greatest alien movies I've ever seen in
Okay.
my life.
I'm watching it tonight.
You have not
Have
seen
you
it?
not seen it?
No,
Holy crap.
Oh my god, it's amazing. I love the aliens. I love how everything interacts. I love the technology. I love the attitude. It's
Brilliant.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that movie.
No, and it got like
Okay.
it was not well received.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder, I mean, obviously I'm not a movie scientist,
No.
but
Nor would you claim to
Nobody
have-
is.
no, I never would.
don't
I
wanna-
might be an Eldar geneticist, but I'm not a movie scientist.
No.
Honestly, I love Treasure Planet. I go back to that movie all the time.
I don't
But
think I've seen
just
it either.
Imagine when you watch it,
Yeah.
think of the pirates as like 40K pirates.
Okay.
I don't know.
It makes it so much better.
Yeah.
If you just insert 40K into all your fictional universes. Halo, 40K.
Twilight, 40K.
Lord of the Rings, 40K.
Yeah, sure.
Wait.
I guess it can all exist. Why not?
They're all on their own worlds, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just.
Side note.
Yeah.
Titan AE and
Also a great movie.
and,
Titan AE. Yeah.
And Atlantis too. It's pretty good.
I
Still got the
just
same vibes.
rewatched Atlantis, and yeah, I also like Titan AE. I love the idea of an arc. Arcs are sweet.
Beautiful. Brilliant.
Um,
all right. Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on, Ian.
Many Corsairs wish to rise above their own station to command their own ships, become barons, or even ascend to the lofty status of prince. While the pirates don't quite stoop to the same level of betrayal as the Drukhari are known so well for, they have been known to act on their own self-interests at the expense of their fellow pirates.
It's definitely more of a Wild West in the life of a Corsair than anywhere else in Elder Society.
Yeah, except
without
for
Drukhari.
Yeah.
If you had to go like levels of mutual respect and mutual respect and understanding and like kindness, it's gonna be like Exodites and Craftworlders. I don't know
Yeah,
who's
you think they're kind? You wanna
to each other.
Oh, okay.
To each other. Yeah, not outside. No.
no,
They're
at the very
super
top.
racist.
Oh yeah.
Right? Don't forget, Eldar
yeah.
are very racist.
At the very top is Harlequins.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they
Yeah.
love
Everyone
everyone.
respects
All right, Harlequins,
Oh, there's a dog.
and then Exodites and Craftworlders, and then under that you have Corsairs, and then way down at the bottom you have the Drukhari.
And then beneath them, who are the Drukhari, like spider guys?
Shoot.
Spider guy.
Flesh.
Like the
Homunculi.
Homunculi.
Yes.
Yes,
There you
they
go.
are
They're at
the worst
very
of the
bottom.
worst.
bottom of the barrel.
So this attitude, kind of wanting to rise in the ranks, combined with the dangers of being a Corsair prince, has led to the common formation of the Blade Sworn Retinue. These Eldar are a tight-knit group of hardened warriors, often composed of close kinsmen, and are tasked with the constant protection of their leader.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of the most important positions within a Corsair fleet is that of Void Dreamer. These Eldar Psychers function as navigators or helmsmen aboard the Void craft, using their powers to help navigate the flows of the warp, as well as protect their crew and ship from the dangers of the demon-infested dimension.
That's cool. So these Void Dreamers, do Corsairs still use the webway?
Yes,
Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah, 'cause
but they also travel in the warp, I think.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So, Void Dreamers are seen as both a gift and a threat for attempting to navigate the world of psychic powers without a teacher, or the strict guidance of the path can lead to disastrous results. So, think of, we talked kind of about it in the Exodite thing, about how someone who just suddenly has an onset of psychic energy bursting through their body and rushing through them or whatever. And then there's no protective runes that we mentioned when we were planning it. That's a way that Asuriani protect themselves with psychic energy, is by using these runes as fail-safes.
Yeah.
They don't have teachers like the Path of the Seer does, right? So
That's a huge thing.
That's kind of why I was really diving into the Exodite one, because this describes how dangerous it is
Yeah.
to try and manipulate or manifest or try and manipulate, manifest, master your powers outside of the path. So I was curious, but Exodites didn't seem to even touch on it at all, which I was curious about. But anyways, we're talking about Void Dreamers.
I like to imagine the Void Dreamer is kind of like that turtle in Finding Nemo, who's just like, yeah,
Hey, man.
ride the warp, just see where it takes ya. It's kind of crazy out there.
You see some stuff.
You'll find where you're looking to go. Just hang on tight.
However, even though these Void Dreamers are, kind of dangerous in their own right, those that survive and master their abilities are invaluable resources, with entire fleets sometimes engaging in open war with each other just to secure their power or knowledge for themselves.
That's sweet.
Cool.
Fighting
Yeah.
over little old May.
You like that, Ian?
Yeah.
You can take the last one.
What's the last one?
While
Three?
the Warlocks and Seers upon Craftworlds place a heavy focus on searching the strands of fate for their survival of the Eldar race as a whole, Void Dreamers instead focus on the immediate future of their own ship. Yeah, so they're way more focused and locked in on one thing.
Yeah, exactly. And on a very small time frame. They're like, what's the best target for us, in the
Sure.
next 5 days?
Yeah.
Whereas the Eldar race as a whole, like the Farseers, yes.
Yeah.
They're going like, how do we survive for the next 10,000 years?
And making small little changes
Exactly,
here and there.
yeah.
Very cool.
So it's a very different focus, but I do like the fact that they still seem to really care about seeing in the future.
Yeah.
It's the same strand of like psychic phenomena, I think, just very different ways to approach it.
Yeah. Cool.
One is immediate gratification, and one is planning ahead. One is saving for retirement, and the other one is dumping all their money into Warhammer
Enjoying
stocks.
your orange juice right now. So anything else about Void Dreamers we want to chat about? I thought they were pretty neat.
They're very cool, yeah.
Trying to like Pirates of the Caribbean these guys in my head, and I'm
Well,
thinking
don't,
like
first of all.
no, I'm thinking like cool witch doctor, like bones around his neck. They all like go to him. He's like a little loopy,
No,
a
he's
little
the
weird.
Finding Nemo turtle.
That is canon.
GW texted
How
it
they
to
talk
me.
too. So now we're gonna talk about Corsair
Tech.
technology.
So much of the Corsair warfare is focused on like this hit and run style of hard, fast hitting attacks. They forego large, clunky vehicles or immobile gun platforms to keep their mobility like up to Mach 10, basically.
Yeah. They use jetpacks, venoms, falcons for rapid insertion and fast rating. They
Insertation,
also
eh?
insertation, yeah.
Right.
It's a new
also-
word. Look it up.
Yeah, Google it, bitch.
You said it with enough confidence. I was like, fuck it, yeah, insertation.
They also use jet bikes from for another form of fast attack that allows them to perform vicious flanking maneuvers.
Yeah, so everything that they do is just focused on get in, destroy, get out.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Eldar Corsairs model with the jump packs?
I think so.
From Forge World?
Yeah.
So Corsairs also aren't strangers to close range combat, with some purely bent on destroying their victims as brutally as possible. So they are a fan of the fast attack, but they also really go towards that old pirate, like, I love violence, I like bloodshed, and I want to destroy and everything. Oh, yeah, I saw a bunch of these as I was planning this.
Yeah, I think those are jump packs that they have.
Yeah, those, like, big wings.
Yeah, and they got some like
Yeah.
they're cool.
The Eldar model range is just brutal.
Great. Oh,
He's not impressed. Click
It's crazy that they have
on that one.
Corsairs.
Yeah, girl.
Wow.
That's nice.
yeah, they have
The
these
helmets are
massive,
cool.
like, wings that look like blades, and there's two of them coming from their shoulders, and they're very tall. It's about, you add like another 2/3 height to the
They
model
look like
on
the
those
Swarm
wings.
Lord's sword on top of his head, but
Oh,
on
like the
either
blade
side,
swords?
Yeah,
either side
yeah.
of their shoulders.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Corsairs, and for the times when they absolutely need a little more firepower or artillery support, they have been known to deploy Wasp assault walkers, but when they do that, they fit them with jump jets and jet-supported anti-gravitic systems to help them as part of a rapid deploy formation. So even on the times when they're like bringing the heavy guns, those heavy guns are still very mobile.
Yeah.
I also wonder if they loot other tech. I don't think they like as superioristic as they are in their like mentality. I wonder if they like, I'm gonna pick up this lasgun and use it. I'm gonna pick up this Necron tech or whatever. It's just a question.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like as an individual, you do whatever the hell you want. But I think as a whole, the Eldar technology is just so
superior.
Yeah, what would be the point?
I could picture a cool pirate lord with like a Necron sword or something, and like that's his.
Well,
thing.
Necron's different. Necron technology
is obviously more superior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eldar is superior.
But I would like to, if I was to ever do a Corsair thing, I would do it in like old school pirate stuff. Like when you see Treasure Planet, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I can't wait to
It's
go watch
so
it.
good.
Okay,
Like
pause
I
this.
love
We'll
the
come back.
bandoliers and like you have like 10 pistols going down here. Oh, anyways. So that's pretty much technology. They use very similar things to the Eldar, but they just focus on the fast attack.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Like a lot of these Eldar, these Corsairs were Craftworld Eldar.
Yeah, they've just become this path of the outcast.
Yeah, and they
you know?
might become Craftworld Eldar again. even.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, they're allowed
Not
to
after
come
what
back?
I've done.
Yep. Not a-
They're not taking me
Sometimes
back.
they are.
Right.
It depends if you've been banished for your crime.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a time limit on, and maybe it's permanent. You know. So,
Right. Yeah.
Maybe you did something so heinous they won't welcome
Yeah.
you back, like I did to that dog one time. You're exiled, exiled forever.
Get the fuck out.
Take your decrepit dog with you.
But yeah, since so many of them are Craftworld Eldar or were at one point, they already have spirit stones. So when these stones are filled with an Eldar's soul, the normal experience would be to place the spirit stone into an infinity circuit or world spirit. But since Corsairs might abandon their allegiance to the craft world, it's entirely possible that they are not placed within an infinity circuit.
Yeah, so this is a pretty big difference for Eldar, and it's actually a lot closer. I don't know. For me, I think I would fear this, like, a lot if I was a Corsair.
Yeah, the afterlife is not guaranteed for you.
Yeah, especially like you're an Eldar and you know your soul is A, immortal, or B, it's about to be ripped to shreds by angry gods, right?
It's kind of cool. I like the idea of like the path of the outcast or the option of becoming a Corsair as like punishment, because it's like, yeah, go do whatever you want, live your life, but you don't have a backup plan anymore. Like if
You aren't
if you
protected.
perish,
You're done.
Yeah.
see you later. Like
So
Die.
they definitely have their spirit stones, you know, unless maybe they came from Komora.
Sure, or even
who
if they're
knows?
an Exodite, they would still
Yeah.
probably have it.
But it doesn't really clarify what happens to a Corsair once they are dead and placed in a spirit stone. So we kind of came up with a couple ideas of what we thought might happen.
Sure.
So the first one I have written is their spirit is captured within a stone, and it's held onto until it can be taken to their home craft world to be placed into the circuit. So it's very possible that, you know, you're from Alatok, you've been traveling for 500 years and you die, and then on the next pass through, like you go to Alatok, they hand over your spirit stone.
Exactly.
And you get placed into the infinity circuit. So that's probably best case scenario.
Yeah, that's
any
it.
of
Which means it's not happening.
Not very often, yeah.
yeah.
So the next one is their spirit is captured within a stone, which never reaches its destination of this the infinity circuit, whether it's impossible or their acceptance is denied or whatever.
Yeah, maybe you never pass by
Yeah.
this craft world ever again.
Yeah, maybe your craft world is destroyed. even.
Yeah, maybe it was destroyed. Or maybe you do pass by and they say, no, like that thing Christian did to that dog, like we still remember that.
We don't like that.
Yeah, get rid of, like, take
His
them off.
spirit's not even welcome here anymore.
Yeah. So that's very possible that they just outright deny people. Just think, though. Eldars care so much about the longevity of their race, and imagine like to do something so bad that they outright cut you off.
They're like, no, we don't want any more of that.
Like you must do something pretty bad in
Yeah.
order for that to happen. We got another one.
Their spirit is captured by a stone and placed into a miniature version of an infinity circuit, such as the Hemlock Wraithfighter features.
Sure.
So this is a throwback to what did we talk about it on Path of the Dead? or
Probably
Okay.
that episode.
So there's like an Eldar ship, which are all constructed out of Wraithbone, and it's piloted by a single living pilot and like 4 spirit stones.
Yeah.
And so that kind of makes a miniaturized infinity circuit in and of its own. So it's very possible that they use this kind of Wraith technology to get you to still serve in the Corsair band. And honestly, get a fucking Wraith fighter in your pirate crew, like that's kind of badass.
I like it.
So, and then we got another one.
They could just be picked up by a member of the Blood Ravens chapter as kept, just like
Keepsake.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's a cool
that's
trinket.
very likely to happen for sure.
They're everywhere, taking everything.
Oh my god.
that, or they just die without a soul stone and are ripped to shreds by Slanesh.
Yeah, and obviously there's so many other things that could potentially happen, but yeah.
I got an interesting thought.
Sure.
What do we think about Corsairs and Wraith constructs? Do we think they have their own, let's call it a herd of Wraith constructs?
Well, so my, I guess, opinion on that is I don't think they keep infinity circuits.
Yeah.
So I think they
gotta
try to
put them
off-
somewhere.
They try to offload these spirit stones probably at the like first opportunity. I don't think they want to
You
risk.
could sell them for a lot of money.
I don't think they want to risk destroying them, because I do think
Yeah.
that for a lot of the Corsairs, like they'll treat the spirit stones as they want their spirit stone to be treated, right? There's still like a reverence involved
Sure.
in them. So I don't think they keep a lot of Wraith stuff.
Yeah.
But
I
I do
would
like
agree
the
with
idea of there being some Wraith stuff.
Yeah.
Like a guy he's not ready to give up being a pirate.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and he wants to just
Put me
keep
back.
going. Yeah, exactly.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Ghost ship. Ghost ship.
Yes, of all just Wraith constructs.
Yeah.
Is the captain also just like this old Wraith construct?
Yes.
He's millions of years old.
Falling apart. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
one. I like that.
That's
That's what they do with them. I like to picture a poor guy in a jump pack like flying through space, gets blasted, and it's like he takes his own spirit stone and his body's just never recovered, just floating through space with his soul.
Yeah, that's like a crazy.
It could happen.
I think I read this little story prompt that was, like this Eldar dies alone on a planet, and his like soul slowly gets like placed into his spirit stone, but he's absolutely terrified of it happening because he knows this is his eternity now. Is just
Be a rock.
existence in this rock with no communication from anyone, and yeah,
There are some fates worse than Slanesh.
Yeah.
yeah, potentially. But yeah, that's kind of the Corsair afterlife. It's not very well laid out, but those are kind of just our.
But, you know,
our
we
thoughts.
half-ass things, so that's why it is the way it is.
I like that it leaves it open ended. You could.
Yeah.
My pirate band does this. Your pirate band does
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
mine just likes to crush other soul stones because we're
Yeah, like,
assholes.
I'm sure Prince Uriel's... yeah, I'm sure, like, Prince Uriel, like, the way he deals with soul stones, he's probably bringing back
Exactly,
to the
yes.
every time.
Yeah, he's probably
Goes
even
out of his way
collecting
to
them
do
if
it,
he
yeah.
can. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it really depends on the band.
Yeah.
So Eldar relations with other things. Corsair's relation with the Assyriani, or Craftworlders, are quite strained, with many on the Craftworld wary or even downright suspicious of their wayward, violent kin.
So even though the Corsairs claim to walk the path of the outcast, many Craftworlders view them as too close to the path of damnation and the darkness that surrounds the Drukhari to be trustworthy. It is common for Craftworlders to not allow their members to mingle too closely with these wayward Eldar. They're definitely kept on the far fringes of Eldar society and viewed as just too close to the Dark Eldar.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy too. Like sometimes the Corsairs are described as like bloodthirsty, like
Savage.
violent, like all these like crazy words like that.
You
I'm
met
sure.
pirates.
Have you met pirates?
You know what? This challenged what I thought
Yeah.
Eldar Corsairs were.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
not think. I thought they were more just rebellious against the constraints of the path. I did not assume that they were like maybe having bloodbaths.
Yeah,
you know, or like
exactly.
performing sacrifice or anything like that.
But
But
really,
the more I read
it does
about
sound kind of close to Dark Eldar.
That's the thing. Like, I'm sure the standard Imperial citizen would never know the difference between a Corsair and a Dark Eldar.
And Dark Eldar are also often, at least in older lore, depicted like piratical and like they're always like
Well, yeah, they're raiding and
right raiders, pirates. There's a lot of overlap.
For sure.
Yeah. So even though these corsairs are on the fringes of Eldar society and even shunned sometimes, many still feel a deep sense of loyalty towards the Eldar race as a whole. And there are many stories of a craft world being saved from destruction by the timely arrival of a corsair fleet. Bless you.
Carry on.
Answering a distress call.
Yeah.
So it goes just whole back to that, we set aside our differences, we put aside our grievances with each other because the Eldar race as a whole is more important.
Nothing binds a group of people together stronger than just hatred of other races.
It worked with humanity.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's talk about some other relations they have. Many other races know of or have witnessed the battle prowess of the Corsairs firsthand, and there are some fleets or bands that are willing to set their skills or sell their skills to a high enough bidder. For sure.
Yeah, there are definitely some stories of a planetary governor or some Xenos race that's involved in a dispute, seeing these Corsairs and then trying to get them to help them in their problems. But for those that are desperate enough to warrant contacting a Corsair fleet, they must be extremely cautious. There are many stories of Eldar pirates double-crossing their benefactors and reaping the benefits of two defeated forces.
Very nice.
So you better have a plan.
Very piratey.
Yeah, they
Wait,
I don't know why I didn't think they were like actual pirates.
Very piratey.
You like Treasure Planet. How could you not?
I know, I don't know. But yeah, this is like they're true pirates, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're not scared of like a little blood or betrayal or anything. They just
stealing, looting, nothing.
yeah, in the end it's all just me.
Yeah.
They care about numero uno. And that's it.
And that's Eric.
Yeah.
That is
Never
me.
forget that.
It's me.
Any other thoughts on Corsairs? I know we kind of briefly talked about it a little bit, but you can go back to a craft world, or you could stop being a Corsair.
Yeah, sorry. I can't believe I didn't write this down.
That's all good.
You definitely can go back to a craft world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the times it's described as being lost on this path.
Yeah.
And you actually end up in the Dark City. So there's enough times when it happens where you spend too long just as a Corsair and you end up just...
You're just like not used to the ways of
Civilization.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you find that the
society
only
anymore.
place for you now is the Dark City.
Yeah.
So
No, that makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
way more sense that more people would go that route.
then
Then
just
go back.
come back
Go
to
back.
normal life. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I've done my 3 centuries of fucking and looting. I'm ready to go back to my craft world.
I'm ready to go be an artist.
I'm ready to go
Yeah,
be
The
right.
path of the service. That's me.
Painting
what?
in blood.
But there's some cool stories you can tell there, right? Like a reformed Eldar, he's got all those pirate tattoos, but he's like very like noble and like trying to like, or one that's like regretful about the life he lived. And
Sure.
he's like, I'm gonna become disciplined. I'm gonna undo the wrongs I did. As
Yeah.
And I do think there's a place for that in society, in the Eldar society, and they can recognize, especially because they can commune on such a deeper level, they
Yeah.
can really feel your intention.
You're
right?
really
So-
genuinely sorry.
Exactly, yeah. No, that'd be very cool.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Path of the redeemed,
Ooh. I mean, there's a path for everything, right? So
and a path for everyone.
that's right. Everyone in a path, and a path for everyone. That's Peter's new campaign slogan.
Yeah. No longer make Eldar great again.
No.
Too
It has some bad
controversial, or-
press.
Yeah, interesting.
He's trying in a different route.
Well, that kind of handles Corsairs, I think.
Yeah, they're cool, man. I wonder, does anyone do Exodites or Corsairs? Send me some pictures. I'd love to see more
Ooh, yeah.
Corsair models,
Yeah, shoot.
There's,
Hit
like,
up our
so
Discord.
much potential.
Yeah.
Just use old Warhammer Fantasy Corsairs because there used to be something similar, and they would look really cool with an Eldar gun.
Oh boy, they still around, my friend.
Yeah.
Dark Eldar. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be sweet. So
Well-
send me some pictures.
So much conversion. potential.
Let's move on to our last. As you guys go crazy with Google over here. Let's go.
Did you know that you ever been on the internet before, Eric? You know they fucking have like everything on here?
Nani?
get
Let's
lost.
talk about our last aspect of these outcasts today, and that is going to be Rangers.
Eldar Rangers.
Yeah, probably one of the more well-known ones, especially because of their very close ties still to the craft worlds.
Yeah. Eldar Rangers are Eldar who have-
Rangers
Rangers.
who range that are Eldar.
All right, this one's wrapped.
And that's all she wrote.
Rangers are Eldar who have decided to leave their craft world and the Eldar path. choosing instead to follow the path of the outcast, seeking excitement and adventure in the open galaxy. So it's very much a similar mindset to corsairs, except for the fact that they don't just go around murdering and looting.
Yeah, I think the Rangers still understand that they're on the path of the outcast. And I think they still try and follow with what that path should look like. Whereas Corsairs are just like, this is me living my life, whatever.
So if these guys are on the path of the outcast, corsairs are lost.
Maybe. Because you can still be a Ranger and be lost on the path and still follow, like, this path. Corsairs, I think they feel like they loosely follow the path. I don't think they would call themselves on a path. But I do think that Craftworlds say like, oh no, they're just on the path of the outcast.
But Rangers, they say
they believe they are on the path of the outcast. Because they definitely feel like they can go on the path and come back at any time.
Right. It's like more of a choice, whereas Corsair might be something that
was imposed.
Yes.
But not necessarily.
No,
right. You could choose the life of a Corsair.
Yeah. Sure. You should choose the life of a Corsair.
Yo ho, yo ho. A Corsair's life for me.
Many who choose this way of life never return home to their craft world, wandering alone until death takes them. However, those that do make their way home are welcomed back with open arms, their desire for adventure satiated.
Yeah, it's the exact same as any other path. You go on the path until you've satisfied whatever urge or desire that was, and then you come back and you try whatever next path is. So.
Rangers will often travel to Exodite worlds and live amongst them in order to gain new experiences and deepen their perspective of the Eldar race.
They will also actively seek out chaos threats to the Eldar race and eliminate them, or if a craft world or Exodite world is under attack, Rangers are some of the first reinforcements that arrive.
That's so cool.
They're very spread out, I feel, in their tiny little fleets. So
I get like serious Lord of the Rings vibes. Like you just have this like group of rangers that come from the woods all of a sudden to help you out. When
they were just there the whole time, and then there's a problem, and they're like, "Hey, actually, I was right here. I was in the neighborhood.
It was me.
I was your problem.
And now I'm the solution."
They got a scam going.
Oh my goodness. Rangers will equip themselves with all manner of survival gear as well as protective gear such as mesh armor and chameleon cloaks. Most Rangers prefer to use some type of sniper rifle that allows them to remain safe while still enforcing a large threat range. Some Rangers even possess a sensor spike that acts as a psychoclimatic receiver. What is that word?
Psychotelemetric.
This is really cool. So this device allows a ranger to see through the webway and into distant planets, so they can see across the galaxy.
Yeah, as long as I think it's like close enough to some access of the webway, like they'd be able to see it, which is very cool.
Yeah,
and sounds crazy.
Yeah, like that's so much information they have access to now.
Yeah.
Is it built into their helmets? Is that why they have such big head cones?
I know, that's to hold their ego. We've talked about this before. All Eldars have big helmets to hold their massive ego.
But in this case, they're rangers. They need somewhere to put their...
So some rangers have been on the path of the outcast so long that they have become lost on it. These... the ranger will then take on the title of Pathfinder and forever wander the galaxy, helping the Eldar race whenever possible. So there are still those who are lost on the path of the outcast, and they're just called Pathfinders.
Yeah.
So these Eldar are very much loners.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to be surrounded by thousands of other Eldar. They want to be alone and make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just want to be free.
Well, if you're still on a path, are you still free? I mean, you're still following a path. Free is a weird word.
It's a weird word.
But yeah, I like the Rangers because it's so different from any other path.
Sure.
Like all the other paths, you're still in Eldar society and your family, and maybe you're focusing on your art or your service, or maybe you're being a doctor or a mourner for right now.
A
mourner,
yeah. I mean, I was taking a peek at all the other paths, but even still, like, you're still an Eldar being a part of the society, whereas the Rangers, like, you have to be alone to be a Ranger.
Pretty much.
You sound almost envious, Eric. Almost like you found your place in life.
I don't know. I think there's some big benefits of like being essentially a mortal creature, and then the ability to just travel the galaxy.
Sure.
See the world.
Yeah.
See
I
all
mean,
the
I think
good
that
things 40K
Yeah,
has to
Can't you just sit
offer.
back and use your telemetric receiver and just like watch from afar?
because you got to experience it. I think the Path of the Outcast wants to experience the galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
And this
They
is their
want the
way to do
adventure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it alone. They're still muted and everything. You know, they're not giving into this adventure sense, but they are still checking out what the galaxy has to offer.
You really put a huge emphasis on the alone part, and that's true. But that they also might create groups of 5, even 20.
Small
of them.
bands.
Absolutely,
Small
yes,
bands,
yes.
but
it's
it
very
definitely-
different from living in the heart of
in a
craft
city.
world.
Yeah, yeah.
But
you
yeah,
and your
it definitely,
boys and
even
you
with
go
that
out.
band of people, I'm sure you're still spending a lot of time in like quiet solitude. And,
Absolutely. Like maybe on your ship, no one talks for days at a time. You just do your
Exactly.
tasks or whatever. So
like your taxes.
right.
Eldar taxes.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, Alatok needs a lot of money, right? So,
we're under the emperor what the emperors do, or something
which is
like
only
that.
a sniper rifle. Yeah, I also like their whole reconnaissance vibe.
Yeah.
It's very common that Eldar Craftworlds actually employ rangers as forward scouts and
Yeah.
deep range scouts. So rangers actually still have very strong ties to their craft worlds.
Yeah, and they got some of the best fucking miniatures in the entire range.
That's not true, but okay.
What? Look
Matter
at
of
these guys!
opinion.
Look at these motherfuckers!
I
over
mean, that's
here.
a great paint job too. There's like the camo
The models are
cloaks.
pretty dated. Oh, look at these old ones.
Oh yeah, like those are not good. You don't want those ones, but these guys, they're pretty fucking good. I like them.
They're old, but they hold up still.
They hold up.
Yeah, I like how, wow, Jesus. I like how you can see the armor and they're still covered with robes.
Yeah.
There's that new robed minifigure that came out in the Indominus box set. It's holding like the standard.
Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's armored.
Yeah, he looks skinny.
He looks
Have
very.
you seen it in person?
Yes, James has it.
Even in person, it looks kind of like
Yeah,
that?
even in
Really?
person, it doesn't look like it's wearing like a full set of
Power armor.
armor.
Yeah.
Which I mean might have been a choice of theirs, but I
Wasn't the
definitely
right choice.
I definitely like if you're wearing armor, you're gonna wear armor. Why would you sacrifice that armor to put a cloak on? You know, even the Eldar, like those sculpts, you see the full armor pieces underneath.
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
I think is very cool.
I'm telling you, there's some of the coolest models in the range.
In the Eldar range.
In the all of 40K, man.
Picture with me an Eldar Ranger who's secretly the prince of a craft world, who has this broken sword,
I know where this is going.
and he goes to the
tell me
undead
more.
pirate ship, recruits an army of the dead.
Fulfilling some sort of long obligation that was like abandoned a long
Yes.
time ago,
Yeah.
and in a way to free their Eldar souls.
Exactly.
Some would say from eternal punishment.
Yes, and then he goes back and saves his sieged craft world.
It's crazy too. For some reason, he's like friends with like a squat and
Yeah.
Another Eldar.
An Exodite. No, he's friends with a Drukhari and an
Exodite.
Exodite, and they travel with him. And
Yeah.
he combines the perspective of all of them to be a fair and just
just
ruler.
I like this. I like this.
There's
a
also
lot.
this whole little thing about a ring and some
Yeah,
other
but
stuff.
that's not really. That
That's on
important.
the side.
That's a side quest for sure. The ring is a side quest.
Well, that is our Eldar Exiles and Exodite episode.
What an episode!
Yeah, before we actually wrap up, I'm just going to say thank you to all of our new patrons, our
yes.
members of the Imperial Tithe. So I'm going to go through everyone. Please save and hold your applause until the end. So we have Carter Stubbs, Jojo Toe.
Oh, the end.
I said to the end.
Oh shit!
Dempsey, Dykoff, Caboose W, Barnett, Toby, Big Dick Jesus, Dan, Trey, Ian.
Thanks, Ian.
Not that Ian. One Thick Crotalid,
I would never.
Zach, Kieran, Blake,
One Thick
Mosreg, Paranormal KB, Dennis, Aaron, Cocken,
Cock on.
don't like
I
that.
think is.
Mateo, Joseph.
Stop it.
Hey, kitten, stop
We gotta
getting Christian
definitely.
shoes.
Yeah.
Mehmet the Odd, Sea Mage Joe, Giancarlo, Daniel, Rebe83, Rebe, Aston, Timon, Ben, Arcus, Glockchin, Orvar, and Chav 3 Ta.
Nice. Thank you all so much. Honestly,
Just gonna
that's-
ignore Q11111E.
That was a typo from.
I think that was small cat
Small
standing
cat
on the keyboard.
keyboard.
Thank
He's the
you,
newest
yeah.
patron.
Thank you so much, guys, for contributing to the show. It means a lot to see people that care enough to support us financially.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, thank you so much. So just remember, you can always give more. There's no laws, believe it or not. There are no laws against giving more to Lord.
You know what?
Eldar.
A man who has nothing can still give his life.
Exactly. I am looking for a summer intern, so keep that in mind.
Hello, I
people.
sold both of my kidneys to donate to Laura.
and you know what? We thank you for the sacrifice.
And you
but
get-
you still have a liver.
Yeah. And remember, you can always
Give more.
So thank you.
Well, thanks for listening to the episode, guys. Make sure you follow us. Subscribe, smash that like and subscribe button.
If you want to see Small Cat on the big screen,
Yeah, you should
$2
definitely.
Patreon.
Small Cat is ruining
And then the
Christian's
$2
shoes
can go to
right
my
now.
Small
shoe
cat
fund
is
because
really cute.
little jerk
I think
is-
we're just gonna trap you in here as Small Cat destroys your shoes.
Yeah,
And all you can do
she's
is just
really
watch and lament.
doing a number to those places.
Well, thank you, Iain, for coming. Actually, this might be the last time you're on the show for a long time.
Yeah, you're moving away, unfortunately, which makes us
Well,
all...
it's only an hour and a half away, but you know.
That's basically another world away.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
Anything outside of 30 minutes, you just don't
Yeah,
need to
it's
go
too
there.
far. I don't even go to parts of the city because it's
Too far.
No, thank you. But yeah, it's it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and obviously you're welcome back at any time
Thanks,
to
baby.
speak. Well, okay. Thanks, Daddy. But yeah, it's we're gonna miss you, bud.
yeah, it's nice
I'm
getting
not.
to know you over the last...
Bye. Gee, we're not breaking up.
I know.
we
but
are, though. I don't know
We're
what
not
you're
talking to you after this.
This is goodbye forever.
If I don't
Yeah.
see you every 3 days, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works.
Exactly.
Sometimes Mark and I don't text for like 4 days, and I'm like, well, fuck, he must have died. And then he
Start
always
making
comes.
funeral arrangements.
He always comes back, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric and I play WoW together, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that'll
see
be
you
nice,
still.
dude.
And Christian, obviously, thank you for joining us. Was this a great subject for your last episode with us?
No, it's your last episode.
I'm taking
He's
over.
primary
I'm
host
permanent.
now. He's
Guys,
host one.
I'm gonna start crying right now unless you take that
Say
back.
psych right now.
Okay, let's end this episode.
Yeah, great.
Goodbye.
Thanks for showing up, guys. We'll see you later.
goodbye.